The Dreadmore Saga, Requiem of the Forgotten, by A. Walker. Narrated by Steve Miller. Chapter 1. Darkwell, the Isle of Chagrim, Fading Woods Tavern. In one of the most northern regions of Balmora is the Isle of Chagrim, a cold, barren shadow of a place in which nothing strives except for the occasional looting. The combination of constant rain and never-ending winter created a permanent, frozen, muddy surface that was unsuited for the growing of crops. The town itself shadowed the Lone Druid mountain range, one of the largest and oldest. It shaded the land from the sun's rays for the majority of the year, a perpetual darkness, giving the town the name of Darkwell. Since Alavis Telna, the town had been but a shell of its former self. It was a once proud, lucrative city of trade and barter, but now it barely prospered. In the southern part of the town, just beyond the House of Herbs, was the Fading Woods Tavern. It remained the last place in Darkwell to find a good pint of mead or to relive the days before the war. The barkeep was a tender, older gentleman who had seen his fair share of death and pain. The tavern had been in his family since his father's father. His name was Euthus. He stood at about 6 feet. His hair was all shades of white. His hands were dirty and full of calluses, proving that he was no stranger to hard work. His skin, the one thing that revealed his age, hung on by sheer will of determination. A few of the constant regulars sat in the tavern, like normal, engaged in bar talk. 7 men were present inside of the small room. They all were overweight and dirty from working at the base of the mountains. They were among the last few miners of the town. The straggly man that was nearly drunk began to engage Euthus. "You know something, Euthus?" Euthus responded as he steadily wiped the dust from the countertops. "What's that?" "Darkwell is nothing anymore," he shouted. "We are just sitting here waiting to die while the rest of the world moves on without us." The man who led the conversation hailed from one of the founding families of Darkwell. He had lived in the town since birth. He had seen it through its glory days when it was the center of the North and through its dwindling demise after the war. "There is still a chance for Darkwell. We have seen worse, I believe," Euthus replied. "How can you remain so optimistic? We have nothing. Alavis Telna destroyed us. That filthy Brigorum should have set this place ablaze during the war. At least we wouldn't be struggling as we are now." The other men in the tavern, except one, decided to join in the conversation regarding the survival of the town. They rushed to the bar to be closer to the other men. The quiet stranger who refrained from moving did so in the far corner of the tavern near the only window. His face remained hidden, veiled behind a hood and cloak. "We're at it again, I see," spoke one of the miners. "Horvath is going on about how the town as usual. Have you had too much to drink, Horvath?" asked the tallest of the group. One of the men turned from the discussion and hinted to the distant foreigner. "What say you, lad? What do you have to say about Darkwell?" The stranger said nothing. He turned his head to look out the window at the rain that fell relentlessly. Euthus continued to pour each man at the bar rounds of his strong mead as they continued their lively banter. "I say no more mead for Horvath. I think he's had enough." "I say it was the Jadari's fault," continued Horvath, nearly spilling his drink. "How could it have been their fault?" asked Euthus. "Had they acted sooner, none of this would have happened." "There was nothing they could have done. By the time any of us knew anything, Mortius's army was already upon us," answered one of the men. "I agree. I think the Jadari did just what they could have," added Euthus. "They weren't worried about us. The council sat behind the walls of Skystead as we were left to defend our lands from that disgusting monster and those who followed him. Such are the spoils of war, Horvath. Everyone always loses something. Typical sentiments of a hollow creature."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?